So I had watched a TikTok one night that it was this girl, I think she's from like Too Hot to Handle, and she like no one can see the fucking rug, so why are you messing with it?
I don't know.
Stop it. You're driving me nuts.
I am. I'm like...
You fucking fidgety as shit. So I had watched this TikTok of this girl, and I'm pretty sure she's on like Too Hot to Handle or some shit. Well, she had met this guy through like, I guess, writeinmate.com, or maybe it wasn't through that, I don't know. But she met this guy who was in prison, and they wind up getting married, okay? And they're in love, and he's so fucking hot, okay? And so...
It's not real.
It is real. It really did happen.
I don't believe it.
I was bored, and I didn't have a roster at the time, and so I signed up for... like Prison Pen Pal or like writeinmate.com, and I started going through them. I never picked anyone. I never did anything with it, okay? Like, I have not done it, all right? So back the fuck off. But what's weird, how the universe happened, is I'm on Snapchat, and there's this guy who adds me on Snapchat, and he had the same name as someone that I know. So like first and middle name, okay? So I was like, okay, well clearly that's somebody that I know, so it can't be. And I'm still kind of new to Snapchat. I haven't had it in like 8 years, so I thought everyone that was adding me was people that I already had in my contacts, and that's not true, okay? And I know that now. Well, I add him, and we start talking, and he like sent me a selfie or two, and I was like, oh my God, he's kind of cute, you know? Like, he's not the person that I thought he was, but our conversation flowed. Well, then he asked me how I felt about prison. And I was a little taken aback, and I was like, well, you know.
What do you mean he asked you, how do you feel about prison in general?
He was like, he didn't say like, how do you feel about prison? He said, you know, do you believe people can change? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And he's like, well, I said, yes, I do believe people can change, but I also feel like at a certain point, if you've been a certain way for so fucking long, that you kind of get past that point. Like, i.e. my biological father. Like, he's always gonna be a piece of shit. Always, you know, just because that's how he's always been, and he doesn't know how to be any other way. Or at least that's how I cope with it. But he said, you know, how would you feel about like prison or someone being in prison? And I was like, well, my biological dad was in prison for like, I don't know, 13, 14 fucking years. I'm like, why? And he's like, well, you know, I'm currently serving time for something that, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. I literally have a fucking inmate. This is literally 2 days after I signed up for this shit, okay? So just let me finish before you fucking cut me off, all right? So I then think, this is the empathetic part of me, okay? I then think to myself, all right, like, this poor guy, like, he's been in prison for 17 years. Disclaimer, he has not shared with me yet, like, what he is currently in prison for. I'm pretty sure it's for murder, which sucks. I don't agree with it at all.
So how long have you been talking to him?
We only talked briefly on Snapchat.
For how long?
For like a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks.
Okay, a couple of weeks.
Someone in prison.
Yeah, and it was more for entertainment, okay? I'll be completely honest, because...
But he was not homeless.
Actually, he was not. You know, he had a prison cell. I was still paying for it with my tax dollars, so I mean, it's kind of a similar situation. Clearly, I'm not healed. But he was sending me selfies, like, he's attractive as fuck, okay? He really is super hot, and he's sending me selfies, like, in the fucking cell, in his prison cell.
I can't even.
I realize that I sound completely unhinged and crazy right now, okay?
Yeah,
I know, I'm aware.
I'm self-aware.
I'm self-aware. So, anyways, and then at this point it's kind of entertaining, but I'm also like, you know, if he needs to like vent or share stuff, like I can only imagine, this is my problem. I want to see the best in everyone, and I'm empathetic to everybody. And I'm like, you know what? He probably doesn't have a lot of people to talk to. And I know that, like...
I'm still wondering how he has the phone in jail and Snapchat.
So he had snuck one in, and he was worried that his CO would find it, and I'm pretty sure that he did, which brings me to this. because I was hearing from him like all the time, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. And honestly, for me, like I have such a short fucking attention span. Like if you don't keep yourself relevant in my life, I'm gonna forget about it. And it's not being any other way other than like I literally fucking lose everything. I forget everything. I hate being this way. I don't know what it is. I've laid back on the fucking weed, but it's just how I am. So out of sight, out of mind, all right? And yesterday, I'm at work, and the mailman comes, and it's like literally a stack of mail because I think, they probably tried to deliver mail while I was out of town, and so it kind of just accumulated. While I'm going through everything, and then I get like this, it's like in this little envelope, and it says, this correspondence is from an offender in the custody of the Missouri Department of Corrections. And I'm like, what the fuck? And immediately a light bulb goes off. So like he legit sent me a little Christmas card.
And you opened it after you saw it.
I did. And then like he sent me these photos. I can't show him, because like I want to respect his privacy. But like.
And you still have them.
I just, honestly, I'll be honest. I don't want to say this because I am fully aware of how psychotic I sound, okay? I know.
I'm numb to it now. I'm unfazed by this shit.
I feel like
how
nostalgic is it though if I was to write him back and send him a couple of pictures that he could hang up, not nude, but like, just like cute little selfies. No,
I wouldn't do that.
Well, the weird thing is too is that like I never gave him an address.
You're thinking about it.
I never gave him an address.
Yeah, that's even scarier.
But he only found the one to the salon, which I won't have like in the next like 5 or 6 months. So I feel like I'm okay, and I don't think he's getting out for like 2 years.